Hi, I'm Nick O'Toole with Open Labs with Matt Presley, product specialist for Open Labs. We're here to talk about the Miko and Nico keyboard instruments and how we can use them in a live environment. So, Matt, forever and a day, all these years, keyboards have been, embedded instruments to come with a sound set. And that sound set's divided into banks and presets, but that's all you get. If you want to expand on your sound set, you buy a new keyboard, right? Well, you spend more money, you buy a new keyboard. Now, in this day and age, virtual instruments are pretty much the standard. They sound better, they're more functional. You can have whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want. So, there's really no solution for using this live. And part of the reason is because navigation and control of the VST in that environment and from song to song has been a little unmanageable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we have Carson up on the screen right now. Now, why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Carson is our VST host that we designed to act like a traditional keyboard. Like you said with VSTs, there are several of them. They sound great, but there's never been a real easy way to access all their sounds. With Carson, all of your instruments fit in a hardware type rack. You see all your instruments here. You have independent volume controls for each one, mixer commands like mute, solo. If you need to display the instrument, maybe you want to tweak knobs, you can. We can even assign the hardware to any function on any instrument, letting you set it up the way you want to work. And what's more than that is that with all these sounds, and you made a good point about the embedded stuff, with all these sounds, there's never been an easy way to jump around to different ones very, very quickly on a computer-based workstation or even an embedded environment.
Especially when you have multiple keyboards.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have to change the sound set on each one of them in between every song.
In between songs, and you can't stop.
Yeah, you don't want to stop the show.
So what Carson does is this also lets us divide all these presets up in scenes. If I go through here, I can pick sounds out of all of my plugins that I have loaded in any given rack with a push of a button. I just tap. Those sounds are coming off multiple different instruments.
So I'm pre-selecting what my sound patch is per scene, and then taking a scene as a snapshot. We're taking a snapshot of that configuration.
No, exactly.
And then we're just, at that point, jumping.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have multiple VSTs, like let's say this song that I'm about to play live, I have split my keyboard into zones, and I'm using multiple sounds in different octaves. It will jump each scene. It'll load each preset for every song.
Right. Each preset contains the sounds of the instrument you're using, and any different key split controller assignments made. So, whereas on this instrument, I have these knobs assigned to my ADSR filters. On another instrument, these may be a reverb, controls for my reverb, or they may be just anything.
See, that's interesting because going from scene to scene, patches are changing. Mm-hmm. So you don't ever have to look for a patch.
Right, exactly. And if, I don't know about you, but any band that plays, they never really play the same set list twice. They're always changing things up. You have the ability to rearrange your presets, create your own set lists inside Carson. So no matter what happens, you can change stuff quickly on the fly without telling the singer, hey, hold up.
Yeah, nobody's ever waiting for you.
Now, not for keyboard players.
Well, that brings up an interesting point as well, because when you have multiple keyboards, you have each of them outputting their own stream to the front of the house into the monitor mixer, and that's necessary so that he can control the blending. Now, on this, you have a bunch of different virtual instruments all playing together, and you have multiple outputs on both the Miko and the Nico. Can you access those outputs and split out each VST appropriately?
Absolutely. It's very simple. If you want multiple buses, you simply go to your buses section, hit add, and then pick the hardware output you want to assign. If I add a few buses here, I can then go to, let's say, this instrument and simply assign it to bus 2. Here, assign it to bus 3. And once again, bus assignments are stored per scene.
That's great. And, another part of the problem that has always existed with your standard keyboard, aside from the sound set that you get, it gives you limited functionality in terms of it'll give you some effects processing that you can assign to a sound, and it'll give you like 1 to 2 arpeggiators that you can use to affect the sound. But now, since we're using VSTs, that means that the platform's wide open, so I can load up my Waves plugins, I can load up whatever it is I want, and can I add that as an insert effect?
Absolutely. If you just follow the signal chain down here, to the right you have empty slots. The empty slots are just for that. Load an effect. Double click to see its interface, and once again you can assign the controls to this as well.
So the effect's actually an insert. You don't have to do any additional busing or signal routing.
No.
And this will change with the scene as well?
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. Now, just to kind of recap a little bit, you guys have designed a host for virtual instruments that will enable you to use any third-party software, and in addition to that, everything that comes in the box as an instrument, as a keyboard instrument. So basically, this keyboard and all of the controls can become any keyboard configuration you can imagine at any time. And you can switch between them with the touch of one button and rearrange your scene selection so that you can customize your set list every night.
Correct.
It's unbelievable. This is the perfect solution for anybody who wants to play any sound that they want at any particular moment live.
Well, that's the idea of the entire product, to take VSTs and just everything about computer making music in general in one seamless, easy-to-use interface.
All right, so we've covered the basics, but I'm sure there's a lot more to this that people would be interested in.
Absolutely. If
Where
you go
can
to
they
our
go?
website, we have overview videos, which is what you're watching now. Go to our tutorial section and you can get a full demonstration on how to do key splits, mappings, etc.
Beautiful, because first thing I do with the manual is I throw it out the door.
I don't blame you.
Excellent. All right, well, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Matt Presley with Open Labs. I'm Nick O'Toole. Thank you very much.